Let me press record in this mug. we about to go on the air. This is the Meaningful Jackson Show. I thank y'all for tuning in. It's about to be lit. Let me connect. Nigga, are we connected? Hey. 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 Now we connected. What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Meaningful Jackson. You are tuned into the Meaningful Jackson Show. Let's get into this music and then we're gonna get the show started. Hey. The NBA is here, so I'm lit. I'm sitting here. I'm talking to my brother about basketball. It's wild. Watching, people was thinking that Houston was gonna be whack with Westbrook and James Harden. It didn't look good in the beginning, but it doesn't look too bad. But anyway, I'm glad you tuned in. We are recording a live radio show. You're watching the recording. These niggas that I'm pointing at on the computer, well, I'm pointing at the system, so someone's listening to the station, which is being run through the system. Y'all probably know how it works better than I do. I'm saying all kinds of dumb shit. But my show is live every Tuesday and Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on tracktalkradio.com. It's lit, man. So y'all need to log into the station, or you just go to it, type it in your web address, whatever it is that you use to surf the web, and then just tune in, man. It's gonna be lit. So we letting a couple songs run. Right now we got some Wiz Khalifa playing, and then we got some Snoop playing, some Slaughterhouse. We're gonna have a lot of rap music playing tonight, maybe some R&B. I mean, you know how I get down. This is just songs that I be listening to on my iPod and shit like that. So a lot of my favorite artists, but I listen to a little bit of everything. I want to play more upbeat music. I ain't trying to fall asleep on this motherfucker, but yo, we lit. So if you watching this, it means you logged into the YouTube channel. So why are you waiting for the show to start? And while you're just looking at my beautiful face and my dope ass shirt, you know, assistant to the regional manager, you should like and subscribe, share this to your friends, and send it to your auntie, your uncle. Do not send this to any grandkids, kids, or, you know, great grandkids. Don't do none of that. This is way too wild for them. Let me boost my chair up. How the chair just started squatting down. Shit, man. It's weird in here. But yeah, what's today? Today is Thursday, October 24th. Man, it's been a quick October. I feel like I've done a lot this month, but nothing that seems very significant. I just been going to work and then we just been doing the show. But I feel like I'm in my groove right now. So I like this. I'm trying to transition from working a normal job every day to just working the radio angle and then going back to school, getting the real estate thing cracked off, trying to get this weed farm started, and then also trying to get this communications degree. So I got a lot on the horizon. It's pretty cool. And then doing this, obviously. This is supposed to be full-time. All the other stuff is supposed to be extra, you know, multiple streams of income. I try to recreate that on a very low level right now by, you know, doing the things that I do. I'm not going to put all that out there, but it seems to be pretty successful. It's on its way to being successful. It's been a lot of hard work, but we're here, and the plan is that with this, we're gonna try to take something over or just create a new path. I would prefer to do that because I like to just find my own niche and groove and then make it work along with everybody else. I don't want to have to, you know, I don't want to have to step on too many people to get where I'm trying to go. But hey, it is what it is, man. Only the strong survive. Only the talented get recognized. So I think we have something here, man. And I like doing this shit every day. So this is what my plan is. And so I'm here and we're lit. So I appreciate y'all tuning in, man, because without y'all, none of this stuff is going to be possible. So like, subscribe, share, send me feedback. Let me know how you feel about the show. And like I said, we're going to be rocking until 9 p.m. And then after that, I don't know. You're not going to hear about me till Tuesday probably. So unless you follow my social media pages, which are all under my name, Memequel Jackson. If you want to look at a lot of fucking memes, that's where you go. You're having a bad day, go look at my memes. Your boyfriend or girlfriend just broke up with you, go look at my memes. You trying to get in the mood, go look at my memes, because I got everything on there. You need some motivation, something that'll touch your heart spiritually, go look at my memes. I'm lit. I got it all. Anyway, we're about to jump into the show. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Give money. Let's see. Hey, yo, we back on, man. I'm being loud and annoying. Shit, I'm annoying myself, but I'm also having a good ass time. I'm in here watching this basketball game. We got Houston versus Milwaukee. These are two of my squads. Mainly Milwaukee, but Milwaukee doesn't look good. I'm kind of disappointed in them, because they look exactly like they looked last year. So, zero improvement. I'm kind of disappointed. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. You are now listening to the Memequel Jackson Show. I am your host, Memequel Jackson. Yo, this is a show that happens on Tuesday and Thursday nights on Track Talk Radio. It happens because I'm cool as hell, but I'm also hella bored. And so what I do is I get on here and I just talk a bunch of shit. And we're going to talk about things that I see that pop up on my timeline, things that I want to talk about, things that I think are hilarious or weird, or depressing, they're sad, they're hopeful, like all kinds of stuff. So tonight, we got a pretty lit show. Like I said, I'm going to be giving some updates on the games. Listen, if you're not a fan of sports, man, I don't know what to tell you. My show will have sports updates on it because I'm a sports guy. That's probably what I'll be doing when I record my shows, is watching sports. So do not hit me talking about, oh my God, Nick, talk about left sports. I don't really care about basketball. Like, I don't really care about what you're talking about because this is not your show. We have other people on here that like sports. And so if they're listening and maybe they're busy, they're working, or they're at school and they got the headphones in while the teacher's lecturing, they might want to hear an update on the Houston game, because now Milwaukee is winning when they've been losing literally the entire game. This shit is crazy. So don't get upset if you hear too much sports shit. There's other shit that happens on the show. Anyways, I thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all. Shout out to all the new followers, everybody providing feedback, saying that they watched Tuesday's episode on their YouTube page and they're giving good feedback. Also providing me some good perspective on some of the things we talk about. I appreciated that. So it means that you tuned in. It means you were listening. Even if you didn't like some of the stuff that I had to say, the fact that you replied to it, it means that you at least heard it. So I appreciate everybody, even the people that seem like they were upset and kind of hating. I don't take any offense to that. I think it's important that everybody be able to express themselves. Just, don't disrespect me while you do it. That's it. And it's easy stuff. So I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Let's get it cracking, man. Yo, you know what? Since we're on the subject of basketball, I thought it was funny that a few years ago, we had this guy come into our lives. His name was LeVar Ball. He has 3 sons. I think, what's these niggas' names? LaMelo, LiAngelo, and Lonzo. Lonzo plays for he did play for the Lakers. He plays for the Pelicans now. LiAngelo is probably just at the house. He's not doing anything. And then LaMelo plays in some amateur league that he's killing in. Out of all the 3 of them, I think LaMelo's the youngest one. He's the only one that's good. But their dad is a very outspoken maybe even deranged, half delusional, and good. He's a good father. I think from what we are shown, the way that he was riding for his kids when they first came into the league, and kind of came into the spotlight, it looked like he was really trying to set their lives up for success beyond the basketball court. And I can appreciate that because it kind of showed us like, hey, a lot of these young poor black kids that come to the league, they don't have dads that do this. The other side of that coin is that sometimes this nigga is very annoying. He talks out of his ass. He claims that some of his kids were better than some of the league's greatest stars, past and present. He has a very strange approach. He's been on national television disrespecting like media people and writers and telling people that they're this and they're that. Just doing all these things. But a lot of people love him because he tells you what it is, he keeps it real, and he's looking out for his kids, which is ultimately what I hope most men strive to be as a father. Be the man that we all expect, which is the man who takes care of their children. And rides for them, protects them, teaches them lessons. But sometimes even when you're, got your chest all out and you're doing your thing, sometimes you make mistakes. It sounds like this company that they created, which is Big Baller Brand. So Triple B, for all you people that have ever seen that logo but didn't know what the fuck that was their little shoe company. Apparently, Big Baller Brand is done. They are no longer in service, and I can't say that I'm surprised because when the shoes first dropped, they looked like knockoff Kobe's that they were selling for like $450. Now me, I'm a shoe guy. I'm kind of phasing myself into retirement as far as like no longer collecting and trading and doing all the shit that comes along with fucking having a shoe collection and being a like shoe plug. I no longer want to do that. So if anybody needs some shoes, reach out to me. I have tons of them and I'm looking to get rid of all of them. I'm about to go back to just wearing house shoes everywhere because I just don't give a damn. And why collect a bunch of shit that ends up not really it's worth money, but there's no reason to. But these Big Baller Brand shoes were not shoes that I ever got my hands on because why would I ever pay with my own money $400 for some shoes that look like shoes that I already have that I got probably for free or traded or bought, whatever. So I never had any of these. I know I had some shoe friends who did get a pair of these shoes. So they are people that donated money to LeVar, in his attempt to be a good father who sets their kids up with a strong business. You guys are all dummies. You didn't wear the shoes, you didn't like the shoes, and you wasted your money. I hope you flipped them right after you got them and let somebody else be a sucker. Because now the brand is dead. Apparently, the guy who helped create the company with them is now being sued by Lonzo because Lonzo claims that he stole millions of dollars from him. So, and this reminded me another story in sports where it was the other side. This young gentleman who played hockey, his parents, not good parents. They basically took Buddy's contract when he got to the NHL and they bled that motherfucker dry. So I haven't gotten an update on my man, but it just reminded me of the story. But last I heard, he was basically playing hockey for free. A professional athlete, damn near playing the game for free because his parents have burned up all of his contract. And you're talking about a young guy who he came into the league, he's one of the new stars, gets a big contract. Big for hockey standards, but still, millions of dollars. And his parents take it all. So I would say that at least Lonzo and these two other goofs are at least lucky that Pops is not bleeding them dry. He could be that dad, but he's not. But it ended up being a faulty business partner. And that's the person who's trying to take all the money from them. And now they're in a situation where their company is going under. And I feel like it's a sad day for Lonzo, man. Like you're not as good of a player as advertised. Your little brother looks like he's going to be 10 times the player that you are. I don't know what LiAngelo's doing. His greatest claim to fame is stealing stuff while he was on a basketball trip in China and then having his dad pull him out of school. I didn't know parents publicly pulled their kids out of college. That seems like a weird thing to do. So shout out to the Ball family. I hope y'all stay strong. I know they had like a TV show. I don't know if that's still going. I hope people are not watching that. That can't be entertaining. But if I'm wrong, reach out to me because I've only seen like 20 minutes of one of their shows and I was not impressed at all. Everybody on there was dusty. So poor LeVar Ball. He wrote a bunch of checks that his mouth did that he ended up not being able to cash. There's a part of me that doesn't feel bad for him because I kind of always wanted somebody to kind of like give him a good reality check. But one thing I can say about him is I do respect how hard he rides for his kids, and that was kind of the moral to the story. You gotta have a strong appreciation for a black man who sticks by his family, rides for his kids. Sometimes the approach is just highly questionable. So this is kind of a shout out and kind of a slight to you, LeVar. I mean, your company's done, but I feel like you're at least a good dad. So anyway, we on to the next topic, man. What do we got on here? I had a whole bunch of shit written down, and most of it is kind of wild. I don't know if y'all heard what's cracking over in London right now. Apparently they picked up some dude who was driving a semi-truck, and it had 39 dead bodies in it, which seemed a bit weird. I don't know how you end up driving a truck around that has dead bodies in it, but that shit seems very outrageous. And then I seen a picture of the dude. He looked like Buddy from Twilight. So I encourage you, if you go to London, stay away from any brother that looks like he's from the Twilight movie, because he probably riding around the city with bodies in the trunk. 39 bodies in a tractor trailer. That's fucking crazy. So I don't know if it's some serial killer shit or what, but it's wild, man. They're going crazy in our world right now. I think in the last year, I feel like I've heard about more like large death tolls across the world than I ever have. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. I know this has been going on since the dawn of time, but it feels like every other week we're hearing about some situation where a ton of people are losing their lives to some random ass shit, whether it be a bomb or a shooting or whatever the case may be. And you gotta wonder, like, does this shit ever end? Because it cannot continue to happen at the rate that it is. Like, that's a scary thought, because you gotta think most things, like, over time they usually only increase. So like, my biggest concern is it gonna get worse from here? Luckily I live in an area now where it's not really cracking off like that. Most people are really too scared to approach you or do anything. I can't imagine, going to a place and then ending up in some crazy ass situation where people are like, shooting up malls and doing wild shit like that. So I feel blessed in that regard, but at the same time, you never know. There might be somebody out there that's plotting right now. So I think that's why I want to stress the importance of being good to your fellow neighbor. Even just say hey to people. Sometimes that might be all it takes to talk a motherfucker off the ledge or prevent somebody from doing something wild. Like we seen recently, this happened, I think, last school year or something like that. They had this high school teacher, he's like a coach, and I guess this young man came to school with the straps. He was ready to light that shit up. And Buddy took the gun from him and he disarmed him, and rather than like slam him on the ground or mistreat him, he just gave him a hug. And then like last week, I think they released the video footage of it, and it was crazy to see, like, the dude hugged him back. That's all he probably wanted, was just to be shown some love. Like, so you'd be surprised. But then there are, obviously we know, based on the way our government be acting, like, we know that there are real threats out there. So there are people who just are evil, and they don't give a damn if you give them a hug. They're still probably gonna blow the shit up. because that's what they're plotting to do. So, you know, thankfully we have people that are out there protecting our asses, so like my black ass can do this damn show and all. I don't have to worry about getting blown up and all that. So, you know, definitely something to be grateful for. But shout out to the coach at that high school, man. You know, I wish I was remembering Buddy's name. I'm blanking on it right now, but I feel like that's a real hero right there. Not to say that other people are not, but I think in that moment, you know, you're showing this young man a very high level of compassion. You're being patient in a heat of the moment situation. I mean, you're literally, like, on the video, you can see him pulling away a shotgun from this kid. The kid definitely was planning to, you know, he was going to do something stupid. And obviously there were going to be severe consequences, but like, you think of all the lives that were saved that day. And even that young man, like, yeah, you made a gigantic mistake, but you know, maybe there's a shot at redemption for you. Hopefully. I mean, I think people can be afforded second chances. Maybe in his situation, we're probably not as likely because, you know, you did come to school with the intent to harm others, you know, but I still think like maybe we can talk to him and he seems like maybe he's not beyond repair. And so I think it's important that we highlight the fact that in those moments that coach took the opportunity to give that young man a hug and show him some love, because maybe that's not how things go for him a lot of the time. So be good to the people you walk around all day, man. You never know what people are going through. Might be a tough day for somebody. So show some love. I think that's important. Yo, I think this is a big win right here. I read an article that Las Vegas police has suspended their ICE program. I think that's super dope. If you know anything about ICE, ICE is a fucking grimy ass division of law enforcement. That's the only way I can describe them. I don't know all the little technical terms, but I want to say, listen, I'm going to tell you why I think it's bullshit. I do not like how ICE operates, because half the time what they do is they sneak up on kids while they're walking to and from school, or they'll pull them out of class with fake ass excuses, and then they detain them and then they try to get them deported. I think that is bullshit. We have kids that are trying to go and better themselves, go to school, they're doing the right thing, staying the fuck out of trouble, and you got people that are literally sneaking up on them while they're walking to school, to and from the grocery store, out in their front yards of their apartment complexes, or whatever, wherever they're at. If ICE has an opportunity to pick people up, they fucking do it. And I hate that shit, because you ruin families by doing that. You're literally not giving parents the opportunities to talk to their children, or children the opportunity to talk to their parents. You're just taking them away and locking them up in cages. That shit is grimy. So when I saw the article that said Las Vegas planned to suspend their ICE program, I thought that was super dope, because it gives some of these families in that area a little bit of a breather. So I hope that they get that good news. Hope it's spread. I do understand that, yes, we probably need, you know, there needs to be a way to make sure that everybody's present and accounted for. We got to have everybody on a roster. We got to be able to do roll call every now and again. So I understand that. But I am not a fan of tearing people away from their families. I think family is very important. And that's coming from a person who feels like his family has always been divided. That shit sucks. So if you have these people who have their families intact, you as an ICE agent should feel very uncomfortable rolling up on them at the fucking Burger King and just yanking them away from their family and then tossing them in a cage. And we all know that we have tons of people sitting in cages right now. So don't forget about that. Also, don't forget that Flint still doesn't have clean water. Just want to drop those in there. I'm plugging that. Those are the things that need to be plugged. Fuck all your ads that are going to help you make money. We need to help Flint get water, and we need to get these people out of these cages and reunited with their families. Anyway, but good thing that we have people who are trying to take steps forward to be the better in our country. And I appreciate Las Vegas police in this regard, because I like that they agreed to suspend their ICE program. So They won't detain people who are on federal immigration holds, and that's a win, I think. Hopefully it stays that way, and hopefully we get to a point where we can put some other processes and procedures in place to make this situation smoother, to where you're not having to do this shit to people. But I don't know. I don't know too much about that. I'm not somebody that they're ever going to call to a round table or to a focus group to ask for new ideas. That will never be my job for the government for anything. Yo, you want to know what's wild? I've heard about Amazon working people to death, but I didn't believe that was true, because I know some people that work at Amazon that are like pretty happy. But now I know that if you're a warehouse worker, you are not happy. And so when you work corporate, you're good. Warehouse, not good. They literally have people dying on their floor in some of their factories across the nation. And you got people who are being pressed so hard about making sure that they're working, that they're literally looking at people on the floor dying, and they can't do nothing because they're being told they need to get the packages and do all these things. I get it that y'all want to make sure that deliveries get out on time, but I assure you, and I know there's no way that I would ever know, but I don't know, man. I don't think I'm gonna be that upset if I know that the area where my packages are coming from, like, people are being hurt and da-da-da-da-da. Like, look, take your time. It ain't the end of the world. Like I said, I know they offer that next day delivery, 2-day delivery, and we want everything in an instant, but like, companies should not be putting their employees' health at risk or treating them as if they are less than what their company is worth. Like, that's horrible. Your company's cool, man. You make a ton of money, and this is how you want to continue to make money, but you got people who are helping you make money dying, bro. So I literally had a guy die on the floor, and then the people literally sat there and didn't do nothing. And then in the article, the guy's brother stated that the gentleman who had died had been in trouble previously because he put the wrong package in the wrong slot or something. And he said that they were watching him on camera, and within minutes they had somebody come and talk to him after they saw him do it. So within minutes of him making a mistake within his job, they had somebody on it. But then they said that my man was laying on the floor for like 25 minutes before anybody even approached him, and he was dead because he went into cardiac arrest and he ended up dying. And he'd already been told previously that he needed to go home one day because he was having health problems. Went to the hospital, got checked out, all that type of stuff. But, yo, man, like I said, I've heard the stories about Amazon working their employees to death. But, yo, if you work at the warehouse, big shout out to you. But make sure that you take care of yourself. Self-care is very important. And I know that they give you the high wage, and they promise you all these cool things that come along with it, and it's all the benefits and da-da-da-da-da, but yo, that stuff ain't worth a damn if you're not here and healthy and have the opportunity to use it. Do not let that job put you in a situation where your health is on the line in order for Jeff Bezos to keep lining his pockets and all that other shit. That's corny. Do not do that to yourself. So, rest in peace to that man. Fuck, man. They probably could have saved him too. But people are worried about getting in trouble at the job, and, I guess that's what happens. So watch out for Amazon. That shit is wild. Y'all been watching baseball, man? The World Series is crazy. I think the Nationals are about to win that shit. I'm very shocked by that because they don't seem like a team that was really equipped to win the World Series, but somehow they're about to do it. But we're not going to dive too much into actual gameplay of baseball, but when we come back from this break, we are going to talk about this MLB umpire the tweet has since been deleted, but he is a hardcore Trump supporter, which is within his right. You do your thing, pal. But he has made it clear that he would be very upset if Trump were to be impeached. So when we come back from this short break, I'm going to tell you what my man did on Twitter. He was going crazy. I'm not sure why he did that, but we'll get into what my man said on Twitter And then we're going to jump into a few other topics. But we got some music coming up from J. Cole, maybe some Fabulous. What we got? Y'all remember Kinfolk Kia Shine? So Crispy? Yo, that shit might even play. And if you don't know who that is, you're a bum. Because this is one of the world's greatest rappers. I dare you to argue that shit with me. Here we go, man. We're going to jump in this music, then we'll be right back. You are tuned in live to the Meaningful Jackson Show. Fuck with your boy. Man, oh man, sometimes this shit be acting up and it be just playing the songs while I'm fucking talking. I don't know. So people are gonna have to go back and watch this because apparently on the air they were still playing music. But anyway, update on the game. Milwaukee came back squad. You know, I got my Buck shorts on. Can you see him down there? Oh, let's get it. Let me get the logo, baby. Yeah, I had the Buck shorts. My boy Giannis, reigning MVP. He went off. They came back. They beat Houston. Houston put up a good fight, but come on, man. Y'all stay letting James Harden just shoot step back, fadeaway three-pointers. You're not going to win a lot of games like that. Or you'll win a lot in the regular season, but you won't beat the teams that matter. So, Giannis, 15th career triple-double. Looks like he had 30, 13, and 11. My God. He's a beast, bro. First game of the season, came out and killed these niggas, making a statement to the league. He's not to be played with. But anyway, we're live on the show. We're through the first 30 minutes, excuse me. It's Thursday, October 24th. Fuck, it's just me in here tonight. I think that's how it was on Tuesday. If I don't remember, man, I'd be smoking too much. But yeah, I kept it light today, man. I didn't put a lot of stuff on the list to talk about because some of these things I actually want to dive in kind of deep to. And mainly, I think mainly it might be this next topic. So let me pull up his stuff. Because I want to talk about, we talked about previously the Daryl Morey tweet and the impact that had with our government and then the Chinese government. We had Trump and we had now apparently Mike Pence has come out and said something today where he feels like Nike didn't do enough. And so it's all kind of crazy how we literally have these platforms and then we use them to try to cancel people, or we take the things and the opinions of others and we try to throw it back in their face, or we end up like trying to make them pay for it for a long period of time. But pretty much what has happened is, let me see, I gotta find it real quick. Damn, I'm trying to find the guy's tweet. But basically, this MLB umpire, he came out and he said that he doesn't want Trump to get impeached. He's a Trump supporter, like I said, which is well within his right. That's totally fine. But I guess he was frustrated about the fact that they're going through the process of trying to impeach him. So he stated that he was going to purchase an AR-15. And then he might start, it sounds like the way the tweet is phrased, it sounds like he's like, y'all better be ready for like a civil war. So it sounds like he's, got his gun. Now, that can be taken all kind of ways. Maybe he's just saying that if they impeach Trump and you find somebody that's going to come in and, really clamp down on gun laws and gun reform and do all that, maybe he's saying that he's going to grab, buy up a bunch of guns before they can do that. I don't know. I'm just playing radio host, ghetto ass devil's advocate. That's all I'm doing in this moment. I obviously, if I'm just taking myself out of that role and just putting it as like just me, Meaningful Jackson, I think my man is fucking wild. I think he obviously has some fucking, I'm gonna say it, I think it's mental instability. And I say that only because I truly feel I understand supporting policies that go along with the Republican Party, but I think if you were supporting Trump specifically, him as a man, I think you are fucked in the head because of how bad and how obvious it is that he hates certain people. You can't say that you are for the people but support somebody who is not for the people. That's my only issue with it. Now, just because that you believe in certain policies and all that type of stuff, if that's a party, the party that you've been supporting or whatever the case may be, I get that. That's totally fine. I don't have an issue with that, and that's mainly because I don't know shit about politics. But like I said, I think it's borderline mental instability if you think anything about Trump is cool in regards to how he treats people. There's no way you're supporting a person who is not actually supporting people. He literally is abusing his power. So by backing him up, it to me it just signifies that like you're not on the same plane with the rest of us. Because even people within the party want to separate themselves from this man because they know that the way that he's moving is not how people should move. It's just not. And I feel like that shit is obvious. But my man is an MLB referee or umpire, excuse me. Has a pretty decent job. He's not in a position to be the umpire for the World Series right now, which I'm sure if he was, this would be a much bigger story because then they would have removed him immediately from the games, because you don't want a guy like that saying something like that and then being in the public eye, because people would be throwing stuff at the game. People would, it would be a whole thing. You know how people get offended. I'm not so much offended by what he said, more so just about the fact that it's like, dude. And I'm not even offended. I feel my heart goes out to him because he's just such an idiot. You have one of these jobs that's attached to a major entity within this country, and baseball itself is just crazy. You work for the MLB. You probably should not have your Twitter have things like this on it. Yours should all be like, hey, love my job at the MLB. Like, bro, you don't work at the McDonald's on 15th Street. Like, you fucking work for the Major League Baseball, bro. Come on. So, putting things like that up just make you look like a fucking bozo. So, we're gonna jump back into the show, and then we're gonna talk about this dude. So let me get this shit queued up, and then we're gonna dive into it. I'm gonna let them listen to the start of another song for a little bit. Fuck, where's this fucking article? Alright. Here we go. Hey man, you wanna know the best part about doing this show? Is that I can just turn this music off or down and then just cut the shit off because I'm back on. Anyway, let's get it. I was explaining to the video what I was about to talk about next. I'm probably going to say some things that might offend some people, but I also, like, man, look, y'all are all grown. If you're listening to this, I assume that you are an adult of some sort. You're probably someone that's close to my age. I don't talk to anybody that, at least I don't know of. I mean, most of the people I talk to, I feel like they're probably 25 or older, except like kids that I work with and all that type of stuff within my job. But you guys are all adults. Men fuck up. That's all I got to say about that. But we're about to dive into this. I was talking about how we've seen how Twitter can just send things into a frenzy. And what I mean is, like, you see how people tweet stuff and it becomes the end of the world. We've seen that with Daryl Morey from the Houston Rockets tweeting his support with the Hong Kong situation. And we've seen that thing spiral so horribly that it's all the way at the top at the freaking White House where they talk about it. I mean, even an update on that. We've had Mike Pence came out today. Is that his name? Mike Pence, Steve Pence? I don't know. He was one of those white guy names. he's the person who's second in command, I think. Is that how that shit works, man? I don't know. I just know he's one of those weirdo dudes who also has beef with people, doesn't like women too much, but he also has a problem with the NBA. He feels like the NBA didn't do enough. They should have fired Daryl Morey, and they should have pulled out of China and immediately dissolved the partnership based on how China reacted. He also thinks Nike is trash for whatever they did. Bruh, just like the same way, you would tell an athlete to stay focus on the court or focus on the field. Nigga, shut up. Don't talk about it. You probably don't even own Nikes. Mike Pence looks like the type of nigga that walks around in Skechers in his free time. So I don't want to hear him say nothing about Nike. My next thing is that I am not a part of any political party. I don't know a ton about politics. I'm going to say this the way I say it. I'm not saying I don't care about our country or the things that happen to it. I'm just saying I do not care to say that I am a part of either of those teams. I think it's whack. I do not have a problem with people who believe in their policies and their procedures and they feel like this particular party has the government going in this direction and this is the way we would like to go, and then this other group of people would want to go the other way. That's y'all's problem. I don't think it should turn into where we hate each other over it. I think it should be more based on like just like what I said, you're rooting for the policies and all that type of stuff. It should be less about the players. It seems like we made it too much about the players. And within politics, with there only being two teams, like it's just bad news. So I try to stay away from that, but I am also somebody who's a firm believer in that we have the wrong person in this job. And I don't like him just because I feel like he does not feel like people are valuable at all. He thinks people are expendable. He is not very respectful to people outside of his race. I have a problem with that. So I think people that go to bat for him and ride for him as a person, that's when I kind of trash you as being a Trump supporter, because I think you're trash for supporting a person who does not believe in the value of people. Because I'm a big believer in the value of people. I don't care about all that political stuff. I feel like that type of shit can probably be worked out. Not everyone's always going to be happy, and we all need to understand that. There are things that happen around me all damn day that I do not like, but it is what it is. I have to make some sacrifices in order for me to function on the same plane of existence as everybody else. And there are just things that I feel like probably are unfair, but it is what it is. But anybody, I think, who is actually looking at Trump and being like, he's a good dude and we fuck with him, I think you are mentally unstable. You have mental instabilities, I think. And I don't feel like it's unfair for me to say that. That's the part I thought was probably going to be offensive to people. So if you're listening to my show and you support Trump in that way and you got mad at that comment, I don't care. Go throw a rock at your own head, because there's no way in hell you want to support somebody who hates people. But anyway, we're on to how Twitter has turned into this crazy firestorm because we have this MLB umpire. Like, my G, you work for Major League Baseball, and you sent out a tweet that basically read that if they plan to impeach Trump, that you were going to grab your AR-15 and, get people riled up to maybe get a civil war cracking. I'm not going to lie to you, I do laugh when I hear the word civil war, because I just automatically assume, because he's a white dude, that he's just going to get all of his old ass buddies and they're all going to like pull up to a Home Depot with a bunch of muskets and shit, and then they're going to like get out there and go back to back and take 10 paces and have duels and shit like that, and they're going to come out with fucking like, I don't know, what's the oldest shoe that we can possibly find? Like some Chuck Taylors? That's probably about as old as a shoe gets, right? So they won't have like the same boots that niggas had in the Civil War, but they'll probably just wear some like old ass dingy clothes, with those little jackets they used to have. Everything's wool probably. Those funky ass looking hats, and maybe some Chucks, and with their muskets. That's how, when I hear Civil War, that's what I thought about. And even when you look at this dude, he looks kind of old. But basically what he said, this is a tweet on late Tuesday. He said he planned to buy an AR-15 rifle because if you will impeach my president this way, you will have another civil war. And then he hit him with the hashtag MAGA 2020. Okay. Obviously, he deactivated his Twitter. That's the thing that I hate about people. I hate that so many of y'all are pussy like this. Don't send out the tweet and then try to backtrack on it and then deactivate your Twitter. Like, you did it. You gotta own it, bro. You gotta own it. That's the problem with people. Is that everybody want to crack off and like say crazy shit and then, oh, I gotta go hide now. That's what makes it lame to me. I think it's corny that he, like, come on, bro, stand up for what you believe in. Send some clarification out. Because now I hear that he's trying to say that, like, he didn't really mean it like that. And I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm so tired of these type of dusty-ass white folks who do this racist-ass shit, or they send out these corny political stance type of tweets, and then they go deactivate their Twitter, and then in a week later, we see him crying on 60 Minutes talking about, I never meant to hurt anybody, and I'm not a bad guy, and I don't know, I had a moment of weakness. Nigga, shut up. No one cares about that. You know damn well what you're doing. You actually feel that way. You probably got a whole closet or cabinet full of bullets and guns and this and that, and you probably sit around with your friends on your off day all the time talking about, I can't wait. I wish one of these immigrants or one of these old niggers would get out of line with me. I'm gonna take them out. Oh, you probably sit around doing that shit all fucking day, bro. We know that to be true about people like this. So I don't want to hear no fake ass apologies. I don't want to see him on the fucking news in a week talking about I'm sorry or shedding no tears. We're not buying none of that shit no more, man. If you're racist, just own that shit. We might even come to start giving some of y'all a little bit more respect, at least if you own it. Because then you're being honest and you're being upfront about who you are. And then you can go somewhere else because you guys are the people that should leave. None of us should have to leave or have to go anywhere. We're all fine. And most of us can coexist with other people. But these assholes that have a problem with everybody, y'all need to go somewhere else. But it says the MLB is investigating his tweet. Looks like CNN reached out to the MLB and reached out to Drake's representation. Not Drake the rapper, but this guy's last name is Drake. His name is Rob Drake. Sorry, I should have said that earlier. See, I'm terrible at reporting the news because I just got to all the good shit. I didn't even say this nigga's name. But Rob Drake, we see you, Rob. He's being investigated, but I like that. I'm gonna read this part. So it says, this is a statement from somebody from the association. Rob is a passionate individual and an outstanding umpire. That has nothing to do, that second part about him being an umpire has nothing to do with him tweeting that. Doesn't matter how good you are at your job, Rob, you're a fucking asshole. He chose the wrong way to convey his opinion about our great country. Fam, nothing in his tweet really had anything to do with the country, at least not in my opinion. He's upset because he rides for this fucking dusty ass orange looking Cheeto dude, and he's upset that people are trying to get him fired from his job. Rob got too drunk one day, was wilding off the Henny, wife wasn't putting out or something, and then he just went to Twitter. That must be what they do. I wonder if that's what Trump's problem is. Do you think that, there's cameras everywhere, security's too tight? Ivanka probably is just disgusted with him so much at this point that we're past the point of having sexual adventures. So do you think that's why he's on Twitter earlier in the morning, tweeting, always pissed off at women? Is it because maybe he just needs to get laid? Do you even think the equipment works? Probably not. It's probably why he's so fucking mad. That's probably what Rob's problem is. Some of you niggas just need to get like a hug or get laid, get a back rub. You need to do something. Men, why don't y'all do some self-care? Take care of yourselves. Go to the spa. I see how women be acting after they get back from the spa. And they don't be acting all irrational. After the spa, I feel like everybody's good. So maybe men should start going to the spa And then maybe niggas won't send out corny ass tweets like this. They won't act like assholes. It's okay to be firm, be good at what you do, be strong, but you don't have to be an asshole. Some of y'all really need to like investigate self-care for yourself and get some of your shit under wraps, because you can't be doing this to yourself. So now my man Rob, I think Rob started umpiring games in 1999. He went full-time in 2010. He is not being the umpire for the World Series, which I'm sure that if he was, that would be a fucking circus. Imagine him at the game right now after he just sent out one of those tweets. They'd probably have to let him go immediately. But I'm sure within a week you will hear that Rob has been fired for what he said. I have no sympathy for Rob. Hope you had a backup plan. Excuse me. Or I hope you had a savings account, because you're not going to work baseball games ever again. I mean, you probably will if you go to like South Dakota or Idaho, you know, go to places like that where they'll welcome people like you with open arms. But for the most part, your professional career with Major League Baseball is probably going to be over because you were being a fucking idiot. And I'm glad. You don't deserve to have a job. So back to my original point, man. I know people are going to feel some type of way about me saying that. And I know a lot of people who do support Trump and the Republican Party. And again, I will make it clear. Supporting the party and the policies, I don't give a shit about that. I don't know enough about it or Democrats to really argue anything that you would tell me about the party. But I do not support anybody who is okay with just being a dick all the fucking time and disrespecting people based on their gender, their race, you know, whatever their jobs are. I mean, even like the way he talks about fellow candidates, like people who are about to be running against him, like, there's no way that you're cool with that. I understand trash talk and, you know, being an athlete. Like, you do that to niggas that you play with. Like, you know, like, yo, you're a bum. But then y'all laugh and y'all shake hands and y'all kick it. It's really not that serious. But, like, my guy really does go wild on people for no damn reason. And people actually believe in him and his character. So I think if you are somebody who supports his character, you have some mental issues. I'm not jumping out the window when I say that, because I'm a firm believer in taking care of our people. Because think about it like this. If you are a CPR certified and you're out somewhere and somebody passes out, do you check in with them to see what political party they're with before you go to save their life? Or do you just do it? I hope that you just do it, because if you really have time to ask somebody what party they're with and then base your decision on whether or not you'll save them, it's based off their response, you're corny for that. No one fucking does that. Who has time to do that? So you got to think about, like, if people are really actively going out of their way to give people a hard time about their parties, that shit is corny. And if people are going out of their way to support a dude who does not support people, that shit is corny. We gotta get some of these people out of here, man. But other than that, people should also be able to believe what they want, feel what they want, say what they want, and people should give them that space as long as they're not invading your personal space, being overly disrespectful. Like, there's a line that can be drawn for anything. Like, feel free to do what you gotta do, man, but you don't have to be a dick about it all the time. Like, shit, man, he probably could say almost all the stuff that he wants to say on a daily basis and just phrase it differently, and people probably wouldn't think that he was such a horrible person. Some of the stuff, obviously, most of it is out the window, wilding and all that type of shit. But man, if there ever is a time where he does want to say something serious, no one will ever fucking listen, because look at all the damage that he's done. So, Rob Drake, you are bum of the week. You're an idiot, man. You just cost yourself a pretty good gig. I'm sure being an umpire for Major League Baseball is something a lot of people want to do. I'm sure it's a tough job, a grueling job. It's a lot of games. But, I mean, if you really love baseball, and I'm sure Rob is one of those people that he's in that position because he loves the game of baseball. And it's like, fuck, man. Now you'll never be able to be around that shit again because of what you did. So, you're a fucking idiot. Anyway, let's leave Rob alone. He's probably getting his ass whooped enough at home right now. But yo, what are you guys listening to? Recently, I was recommended Janelle Monáe's last album. Was it Dirty Computer? I don't know if y'all have heard that, but that album is fire. Like, for real fire. It really does have a Prince feel. If you're a fan of Prince or old school, you know, I don't know, is that classified as like R&B or pop music? I don't know what Prince classification is. I'm not a huge Prince fan, so I won't pretend to know. I just remember Prince, like, I was a Michael Jackson fan, mainly because Mike didn't have his ass hanging out. I wasn't a fan of the assless chaps, but Prince was also the only nigga in the history of niggas that looked like a girl but could pull your girl and made millions of dollars like a man. If you really break down what I said, there was only one. Like, Prince obviously was a man, but he really got that bag, like, bigger than almost any man. But he really looked like a woman, dressed like a woman, talked like a woman, but could pull your woman because the songs were that hot. So no one could ever really disrespect Prince. Prince is a legend, R.I.P. But it's like Janelle's sound on her album is fire. It sounds like Prince cuss. Like, it's got great transitions. There's really good features, a lot, and it's a very powerful album. I'll say that I was very happy, and I like the fact that, you know, she has a real focus on people and empowering the ladies, and, you know, it's a great album. So if you get a chance, you should listen to Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe. She's a beautiful woman, crazy talented. I think if there is a replacement for Prince, it's her. So I think if Chris Brown is the heir apparent to Michael Jackson, Janelle Monáe is the heir apparent to Prince. I don't think that can go to anybody else. It has to go to her. Another album that is really great. Let me tell y'all this, because I've been listening to this pretty heavy, and now that I'm on the air, I want to make sure that I announce it because I love this shit. So, if you guys are a fan of rap, and not just male rappers, but female rappers as well. But I don't even say that she's a female rapper. I just say she's a rapper. But Rapsody, her album called Eve, is one of the most fire albums I've ever heard. And even just the first song, Nina. If you get a chance to listen to that, you will not be sorry. That is a hot record. Definitely check that out. But what else? I did want to say, there was one album I listened to, and I listened to it today. I'm a fan of this gentleman, so I was a little bit disappointed. But I won't say that I'm like in one of these fans that's like, oh shit, like when I got this nigga marked on my calendar. No, it's not like that. I think he has had some okay verses in his lifetime and some stuff that I like to listen to. But Gucci Mane dropped an album. He probably could have left this one at home. Like under 3 or 4 other albums, and those albums were like in a duffel bag in a closet underneath 5 boxes. I was not impressed at all. His album was not good, which is weird because I feel like Gucci is crazy talented for his type of rap. He has a really big following. I think people love him. He's somebody that, you know, he's went through some crazy things in his lifetime, and the lifetime that he's been, you know, in the rap game and been on TV and all that type of shit. And you see the transformation that he's made. I mean, even, you know, getting his body right and doing all these things, getting married, all these things are super great for him. Shout out to Gucci, you know, praise to the black man. But fam, I ain't gonna lie to you. This album, nah. Nah. So if you're a Gucci Mane fan, I hope that you like it, but I will say for me, just based on the type of rap that I like, I was not a fan of Gucci Mane's album. So I'm looking for some new music. Y'all should hit me up. Tell me what you're listening to. I will say, the last time I was in my car for the day, the song that I got out to, you ain't gonna believe this. It just came on. I had my whole iPod probably has about 18 or 19,000 songs on it. So I just had it on random today. And then of course, the song that pops up right before I get out the car is an old cut Lil Kim Magic Stick. And I forgot how fire that record was. So if you got me on the Snapchat, go look at the video I made where I'm listening to Magic Stick. I said something hella stupid, but I thought it was hella funny. I think y'all will get a good laugh at it. But go check that out. And then when we get back, we're going to talk about a couple other things. We're going to talk about a school resource officer who has now resigned from his post for being a fucking idiot. I do not feel bad when I call them these names. I'm saying you're an idiot because you made a bad decision. I make bad decisions, and in those moments, I'm a fucking idiot too. So when we get back, we're going to talk about his corny ass and what he did. We're going to jump into this music. Yo, I told you I was not playing with y'all. What we got? We got some Diddy Dirty Money. I'm not calling him that. Someone reached out to me. Shout out to my folks out in the Virginia area. This was brought up. Apparently, Puffy or Diddy or Sean Combs or whatever the fuck his name is, he wants to change his name again. My man, Sean. I just gotta call you Sean. Sean Combs, Mr. Combs. I'll call you Mr. Combs out of respect, because you an OG. But my guy, why are you changing your name again, bro? Like, do you feel like your name just like it runs out of like luster, and then you want to? Is that the secret to revamping and maintaining a career? Just change your name every 6 months? Because if so, I don't think that technique works, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I used to do music, I had like 16 different rap names, and none of those shit sounded good. So like, if I'm a consumer and I would have seen an album at the store or like on iTunes and it said the nigga's name is Prophet and he's on songs, I'm not gonna tell you some of the names of the songs, because some of them have features on them. I don't want to disrespect people who are, my old friends or whatever. But if I would have seen that, I'd have been like, I know these niggas are trash. Or this nigga particularly. I'm talking about myself, not my friends. I thought my friends actually had some talent. I was okay, but I was not. I knew that I was never gonna be a rapper. That was just not in my future. I don't like staying up very late. I don't like to be at clubs. I'm also somebody that likes to throw hands, and I feel like that could get dangerous when people want to talk a bunch of shit. I'm not a fan of shooting at folks, so I don't want to be a part of a shooting. So I think rap comes with that. Now, if you do rap where you're like just spitting to the females, I probably could do that. But then again, nigga, I'm not in good enough shape to take my shirt off on stage. I gotta get, my grill gotta get fixed. My beard at the time when I was rapping was not in. If you've ever seen the music videos that I was on, nigga, I had a fucking goatee and I had a button-down shirt in a video while we was at a strip club. So as far as like rapper was concerned, I was not that nigga. So, no changing of the name, man, because I don't feel like that's a viable way to maintain a career. But maybe Diddy has some, I don't know, he has some pull. I mean, it is P. Diddy Combs. He's hella rich. He's holding it down for the black man. It's another thing I gotta show appreciation for. He's almost billionaire status. I think he's billionaire status, but and he helped give us one of the greatest rappers of all time. So you can't be mad at Diddy. But I think the new name that he picked is hella corny. So. And I think he wants to change it to Sean Love Combs. So he's going to put the word love in between his first and last name. I think that's what they said. I hope that is not his name. Because I feel like if he changed it to that, then some janky ass fucking R&B album is coming. And my God, I do not want to hear this nigga sing. So we're going to get into this music. We got some old Diddy playing. And then when we get back, sorry you hear all the clicking and shit. Yeah, I'm clicking the buttons on the mouse. But when we get back, we're going to jump into a few other topics. And then we're going to listen to some more music and then close out the show. Thank you for tuning in. It's the Meekle Jackson Show on Track Talk Radio. It's your boy. I can't believe Buddy wants to change his name again. Like, you don't get tired of that? And like, what if he's just sitting in a room and like someone's calling out one of his names that he hasn't heard in a while? Do you think he remembers them all? Or does they be like, Diddy, and he's just sitting there? Diddy, Sean, huh? Do you think he does? I bet he does that. You have so many fucking names, man. Like, if he was to come on this show, I wouldn't even know how to, like, intro this dude. Like, do you ask him, what name do you want to go by? Or does he just expect you to know? Like, it depends on the vibe in the room. Maybe he's just stacking up so many names to keep conversations and interactions with people as authentic and organic as possible. Like, I'm gonna let you pick the name that you want to call me, but you got to use one of the 15 names that I've ever been called by. That'd be fucking crazy. If you're doing that, you're like on some next level top dog type of shit. Unfortunately, my names are boo-boo as hell. I got 4 white dude names. I'm not gonna say them on the air because for the people who are watching this, I don't want them to know who I am. There's a ton of people who actually know my real names, so at some point everybody will know, but I want to try to keep it a secret for as long as possible. So refer to me as Lord. Lord Meme. LORDMEME. But anyway, yo, we're through the first hour of the show. That was a quick little hour. We're gonna let the music run for a little bit, and then we're gonna get back on and talk about some things. Like I said, it's just me in here tonight, man. I'm just cruising. Thank you if you watched Tuesday night's episode. Yo, it was crazy. I had a lot of people kind of giving me flack for what I said about the tampon thing, which I don't know why people were getting upset about that. Men don't need to have a say in how the packaging for the tampon people look. That's crazy. Why do you care that the symbol for females is on the tampon box? And now we have people who are making that transition and they don't feel like they're being well represented. Like, bro, you don't even have a fucking period. Why do you care about that? Come on. I get it, but like, you don't have to have everything that you want. Like, bro, it's crazy. People get so offended by things. I'm over it. That's why I love this shit. Like, I preface things if I feel like it needs to be prefaced, but for the most part, I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to say. And I feel like you have to understand that I don't have malicious intent in my heart. I'm not trying to bash people or put them down. I'm always trying to big people up. But the things that we touch on are gonna be the mistakes that people make. We're gonna highlight the good things that people do, and we're gonna talk about ways that these things can be prevented in the future. A few mistakes is not an indictment on a person's entire character unless they've made it clear over time that they are a complete fuck up. In which, in that case, if your shit is publicized, I should be allowed to say things about it, and people can't get mad at me and try to cancel me for it. All right? Not that that is what tried to happen to me over this thing. You can't cancel somebody who's not relevant. I'm just a nigga that has a microphone, a phone to record it, and then a fucking computer to run the software to be live on the fucking radio. That's it. I'm nobody special. But if it was to ever get to that point, you see how this happens where people tweet out stuff or they say things and then people get upset and then they want to try to cancel people. That shit is fucking corny. We got to stop doing that. I think it's insane. Excuse me as I clear my throat. I need to get some water. But I do think it's pretty insane that we do that. We go so hard, and half the time you people don't even know why you're mad. Most of the people that reached out to me that were offended by the tampon thing they weren't transgender people. They were just men who were trying to argue, and the argument is fucking weak. The argument is, well, if they want things to be equal, we've had to change stuff in these situations, so they should have to change it if these guys asked to do so after they try to become women. It's not fair. And it's like, bro, you're trying to make my fucking brain explode. That doesn't even make sense, for one. I think even the way I repeated it made me sound like a fucking idiot. I was like, and two, why does it matter? It's a product. Does the product serve its purpose? Yes or no? If you answer yes, why do you care about the packaging? If you hate the packaging, why complain? There's other people who offer the same type of product. Just go buy their product. Because you also have to remember, when you go into the store to buy this shit, when you look at the shelving unit where they host all of these items, similar items, there's 20 fucking different brands. Why does it matter? And it's an item that is literally created for the use of a woman. It's for women. It's not for men. Like, come on. I mean, the guys just want to take over everything. And they found a way to, like, I don't want to say that they're using this as a way to go in, infiltrate the other gender, and then take over more stuff from them. I'm not saying that. That's probably a crazy fucking stretch. But over time, I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see people who do these things and they complain about this stuff because they're just looking at ways to prevent other people from being able to have stuff, where you're trying to take away choice from other people. That's what we spend all day doing to each other. It's just trying to prevent somebody from living their fucking life. Why does it even matter that that logo is on the fucking packaging? Nobody really knows. You're not offended by that. Like, do you think about that packaging every time you go to unwrap one of those things and then use it? No, you probably wouldn't, because you're not even going to be able to use the fucking thing. That's the crazy thing, is they complain about something that they can't even fucking use. Unless you use it for the example that I gave on Tuesday night, which is for a nosebleed. And who really is getting nosebleeds often? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people, but I haven't had a nosebleed in like 8 years, which now I'm probably going to get hit in the fucking face tomorrow. Shit. But even still, that shit is crazy to me, bro. People really were giving me a hard time about that shit. And then I told them I didn't give a shit, man. You're not going to make me feel bad, because I know what I said. Y'all niggas is clowns for crying about that. It's packaging. Like, that'd be like me crying and sending a letter and creating a petition for when the Freshetta Frozen Pizza Company changed the fucking packaging for the Hawaiian, and then I grabbed the fucking wrong one this one time, and I ended up with some fucking, like, it was like a cheese, like a 3 cheese mozzarella. It was my mistake because I was too high and didn't actually read it. I just grabbed it because I'm used to it being in the same spot, and I ended up grabbing some other brand of pizza, and that shit wasn't good. But no, I didn't go out and complain to them. It didn't really matter. And I know that's not the same thing, but I'm just basically giving you an example of a bogus ass bullshit complaint. And that's what the whole packaging for the tampons thing was, in my opinion. It was a bullshit complaint. That is not saying that you and your choices that you've made to transition to the other genders, but I'm not saying that that's bullshit. I'm saying complaining about the packaging of tampons is bullshit, okay? Let's be clear about that. But anyway, October 24th, man. Maybe that's what it is. We're in the month of October, so everybody's fucking wilding because it's almost Halloween. People are in their costumes, or, you know, the clowns are coming out. That's what it is. The clowns are fucking coming out. It's almost Halloween and we got clowns every damn where. Ugh. All right, yo, we're getting feedback about the show. Hey, the music got me like something. I can't see what those emojis are, but yo, they like the music. Boss Lady says it sounds great. That's good news, man. And yeah, I'm reporting good feedback while we on the air. And I'm not bragging about myself because we got a lot of work to do. I got to get better. We got to do more. We got to improve the show. We got to add people to it. Got to get a better camera. Got to get better lighting. Got to get better sound equipment. We got to get better everywhere. It's just like anything, man. There's always room for improvement. But it's also good to highlight the good things. So I'm having a good day. I'm in my favorite shirt, bow, you know, and we're rocking it out. So I'm going to burp and be nasty real quick, and then we're going to jump into this last hour of this show. Where's my notes at? Plug. All right, here we go. Ooh-wee! Yo, that's my cut right there. That Hypnotized Cash Money, boy. Y'all don't know about that. That's a wild record. I remember the first time I heard that record. I hope my man is listening. Shout out to my man Big John. I think John is a rapper now. You know, me and John went to middle school. Let me look up what his rap name is, because I just know John is one of my big homies from middle school. But I'm sorry, John, I apologize, but I always forget his rap name. But I know my man is doing big things, so let me give him a shout out real quick. Let's see. Big John 35, that's what it says. My man, he's a rapper, bro. He's killing it. But anyway, John and I went to middle school together. And when we was in middle school, I was a really small, little bitch ass fat kid. And John was like the biggest kid at our school. And I'm talking about, he was a big nigga. Like, imagine Terry Crews at middle school. That's this nigga. Some of the stories I have about John are wild, crazy. I'm not gonna say them on the air. I wanna check in with John, make sure I get his permission before I give up some of these stories. But yo, John was a beast in middle school. I remember John was there one day when I fought one of my little homies. Well, I don't know if Kenneth is little anymore, but my man Kenneth, we got in a fight in middle school. I remember John watched me take hands and then watched me run home crying because I was a young punk. I was a little punk, and so I was always ready to fight, but I did not like getting hit in the face. I won't say Kenneth whooped me, but we was fighting over playing 21 in John's driveway at his house. This is in Austin, Texas, man. This is crazy. This is when we lived in the hood, and when I used to get jumped by Mexicans and shit, because I wouldn't stop messing with people on the bus. I used to get my ass whooped a lot. But shout out to John and his big ass. But John introduced me to that Hypnotized Cash Money record. And I remember the first time I ever got suspended in middle school was because I had a notebook. And John used to rap, and we would rap at his house sometimes. And I was like, yo, I want to be a rapper. And so in my notebook, I wrote down a bunch of rhymes. This is how I got in-school suspension. I do remember that. I had to do in-school, so I wasn't out-of-school suspension. But I wrote these rhymes, and the teacher saw it, and they told my mom. And my mom whooped my ass because I was talking some foul, crazy shit. Some shit like you don't know about. Probably some wild ass sexual shit, gang banging shit, because that's what we thought rappers did. But yeah, I kind of got my inspiration from that last record that was playing, that Hypnotized Cash Money. That shit was crazy. It's the only time I ever thought Baby had a good verse. He's the last rapper on the record, and his verse is not even good. But when I was in middle school, he had me hyped. He said, niggas be size and niggas ride. And I was like, okay. I didn't know what none of that meant, but I was hyped. But shout out to Big John. That's my man from way back in the day. My brother, I appreciate you. I'm glad that we ended up reconnecting after years and years. But glad to see that you're doing well and you're killing it. I hope that you make it, man. Cause if not, you probably gonna be up there whooping somebody's ass. Cause that nigga's big, y'all. Y'all better be careful. But yeah, Big John 35, man. Check him out on Facebook. Add him. He's a good dude, very friendly. Probably will talk to anybody. And listen to his music, man. It's pretty good. I'm sorry, John, I did blank on your name. But he does have good music. I have checked out his stuff. And hopefully, if I can get him to send me some of his stuff, send me some files, John, I'll play your shit on the air for sure. But anyway, let's jump into the next topic. I want to talk about this real quick because obviously most of you know by now that I am a major advocate for taking care of our children, raising them right, helping them to become strong, self-sufficient adults, and hoping that I'm hoping that we leave them enough of our world in good enough shape that they can take it, help mold it, maybe fix it, change it for the better, do all these things. So I'm a big believer in that. And I really do believe that every kid has an opportunity for greatness if you give them the chance. I mean, obviously we know that certain kids have limitations, disabilities, things like that, and that's understood. But I also feel like those kids, they need to be taken care of just as much as the other ones. So it's a leave no kid behind type of mentality. But I also think that the way we treat our kids sometimes in certain situations, it's crazy to me, because in this story we have a resource officer who, it seems like he's treating this young lady like she's a criminal. I think she's a middle schooler, but she's literally a kid at school and she's having a hard day. Excuse me, I had to burp on air. Now, regardless of if she is a kid who has a hard day every day, she is still just a kid having a hard day. where this video or this situation is taking place in New Mexico. I like to bring these things up because it's stuff that I talk to people about throughout the course of the day, and it's stuff that like I actually kind of have interest in, because I'm always surprised when this shit happens. But the school resource officer, he's resigned because he's on his body cam. You can see where he's attacked this 11-year-old black girl, and it seems like he got upset with her because looks like she had a blow up at lunch. I think she threw milk on somebody, was probably disrespectful to the staff, maybe some other kids. It's shit that happens. It's a child having a rough day. You never know what life is like at home for these kids. Some of these kids, they really struggle in their day-to-day lives, and think about how some of them grow up. Sometimes they grow up without parents, they grow up in foster care. Some of these kids are 10, 11 years old and they're raising other siblings. Like, life is hard for a lot of kids. I don't know this young lady's situation. All I know is that he's on the body cam where she's walking out of the school. He says something to her, then he grabs her backpack, and you can see where they're on the body cam where he's trying to grab her by the arm, and they're having a struggle because, yeah, obviously she's resisting. So he kicks it into cop mode. And what that means is, you know how these cops operate. As they rough you up and try to trap you and throw you to the ground, they also are expecting you to obey every command. Sometimes they're trying to pull you upward while they're telling you to have a seat, which I don't know if any of you know how gravity works, but that's not how that goes. And it's also ridiculous that cops, a lot of times in these moments, expect you to remain calm while they put their hands on you. It's a crazy situation, but with this young lady, you can see him on the video, like, trying to wrestle her to the ground. So unfortunately, she's being kind of thrown. He's not throwing her. I don't want to say thrown, but he's pushing her up against the wall to use the wall as like an assistance, which also, my man, you're a grown fucking man. Why are you struggling to take down an 11-year-old girl? Jesus Christ, where do they find these people for this job? Seriously, my nigga literally is on tape struggling to take down a small child. Like, this is not a guy we should have on the streets. Because what happens when real niggas get out of line? Like, what's he supposed to do, bro? Like, imagine him coming up to me and I'll be like, yo, my man, and I seen you before. You was that nigga that's on tape struggling to take down that little kid. Well, I'm going to laugh at you in your face, and I'm probably going to take off running because, one, I know you can't catch me. And even if you do, you probably can't take me down because we got you on tape struggling to take down this kid. But anyway, my man has resigned. It really takes him, like, we're 30 seconds into it. He still didn't have her cuffed. He really was struggling. But he resigned, and I think that's good. It's obviously the department gave him the option to either resign or get fired. It looks better for people if they resign, but it doesn't look good for him at all because he's on tape hassling this young girl because she's having a hard day at school. Again, I am somebody that believes in the power of redirection. I know that most people have limits, but when it comes to kids, you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to give them a little more slack than what we give adults. Sometimes kids need reminders, and sometimes they need a lot of them, and that's okay. But fam, you're a police officer. You can't walk up behind that child, blurt out some command, and then grab the kid and then try to restrain him or her. In that moment, they're not going to know what is going on. And then you know what the result is going to be? They are going to resist you. Because they're probably in that moment unsure as to why another adult is grabbing them for no reason. Especially when they go to school all day. A lot of the things that we tell your kids when they're at school and after school programs and things like that is that adults are not supposed to touch you unless they're your mother or your father. We do mention that they should listen to people in positions of power and authority, but we make it clear to all kids that they're to keep their hands to themselves. They're not to let other people touch them, and they're not to touch other people. So in that moment, what do you think this young lady's going to do? Of course she's going to resist you. Why in your mind do you take that as, let me kick it into high gear and wrestle her as if she is some hardened criminal? Like because she threw milk or something? Like, do we really have teachers who are like being like, we got to get the cops involved because a student threw milk on me today? Like, I hear about stuff like that. Like, I know recently down, I think in Florida, we had a teacher who's like working with kids who have behavioral issues. I guess things got out of line with the student, and then the teacher's pressing charges on the child. Fam, why did you take the job or get involved in that if you're going to end up pressing charges on the child? That's why I say I understand everybody has to have limits. We have to draw the line, but you got to understand that some of these kids, they are not in control. You cannot expect them to think on the same plane as an adult. They barely know how to control their emotions. They probably barely know what emotions even are. They just feel, and so they just do. So you as an adult, you need to be able to kind of see through some of that stuff and be able to help them manage their behavior and their anger, put them on the right track. But instead, we have a lot of these adults who take these jobs, they go to school, they pay the money, they get the degree, and then they go to the school, they're feeling all good, and then all of a sudden, shit gets real with these kids, and they don't know what the fuck to do. And so for them, the best option is, well, let's put this kid in a really compromising situation. Let's get the law involved. Because what better way to help serve a kid than to call the cops on him or her at a young age, get them involved with the law, and just, basically put obstacles in front of them. Life probably is already hard based on certain struggles that they may have at home, but why not make it a little bit tougher for them to function? And then when they become adults and they're crazy and they're off the rip or they can't maintain a job and they're this and they're that, then we're like, oh, well, why can't they just do this? Why can't they just do that? I'm like, well, they don't know any better because their entire lives, all people have done is just thrown them back into the dirt or given up on them. They literally don't know any better. We have the opportunity to prevent some of these things. If you want to help create strong individuals and help them become self-sufficient adults, maybe grabbing them and throwing them on the ground and doing all that, maybe that's not the way to get those types of results. And then if you guys are always wanting to how do we get a good relationship between kids and police and minorities and police? I'm like, well, maybe tell them to approach with a nicer attitude. You can still be on guard and be tough, but be respectful. Like, I'm always ready for war. I tell you that at a moment's notice, I'm ready for war. But that doesn't mean I can't treat people with respect. I don't even have any formal training, but I would assume if I was to go through and get training, that I should be able to stand within 2 to 3 feet of someone and have a conversation. And if it starts to escalate, I should be ready to react then. I shouldn't approach the car already pissed off. I shouldn't approach the child or the mother or the father already pissed off and make the situation worse. What's the point of that? And this cop, he does that in this moment. He literally takes a situation that's already not going well and he makes it worse. Bro, you literally could have walked out and been like, hey, little one, is everything okay? Is there anything I can do? And even if she wants to walk outside, let her fucking walk out there and cool off. You don't have to restrain her. Let her walk. Walk behind her, make sure that she's safe, but you walk. You don't run, you don't chase her. Let her do what she needs to do. She'll calm down, and then you know what you can do? You should be able to tell when kids are starting to calm themselves and become a little more loose. And then maybe in that moment you could go and you could talk to her. Listen to her or his problem. Help them troubleshoot the problem. Teach them how they can handle it better in the future. But you're really going to try to rough the girl up because she's having a bad day? I don't even give a fuck if she's one of those students that goes through this many, many times throughout the course of a school year. She is still a child under your care, and you need to take care of her and show her that fucking respect, man. That's just bullshit. Watching this grown-ass fucking man struggle to put down this 11-year-old child. You should be embarrassed of yourself, my nigga. That shit is pathetic. But anyway, let me chill out, man. I'm only hyped up because, I used to say all the time that I did not want to have a daughter. And I would pray, please, Lord, don't send me a daughter. and and my man's been sparing me up to this point because I do not have children. But I am still hopeful that I will have kids one day. But now I just know that I will have a daughter because I've been too much of a hard ass and I'm too much of a sports guy. I just think it's gonna go the other way with me, and I'm not probably gonna get a son. I'm probably gonna get a daughter first, and I'm gonna be under extreme stress because I'm always gonna worry that guys are mistreating her and all that. But I know that if this was my daughter, I don't know if I'd be able to contain myself. Because the second that I know he's a civilian and he's no longer on the police force, him and I gotta throw hands. I'll be out front of his house with boxing gloves. I'll throw him a set of gloves. I'm like, bro, you gotta come out. We gotta run it. And then we can shake hands after. But because you put your hands on my daughter, I gotta beat your ass a little bit. And in Washington, I'll do it the smart way. I would call the cops. I would have them show up when I show up, have him come out, and I would present him with the offer to fight right there because it's mutual combat. If he agrees, then we'll run it. But if he doesn't, then it's clear that he's a pussy. And I want to record that so I can put it on tape. And I could be like, yo, fam roughed up my daughter. And then when I gave him the opportunity to run my fade, he didn't want to do it. That's what I would do to him. You will suffer embarrassment. You put your hands on my kids like that. And I hope other people are that hyped up and ready to ride for their kids in the same way. It was horrible seeing that video of that young lady getting slammed like that. Young lady, you're going to be all right, kiddo. Keep your head up. Reach out to your adults. Let them know that you need help. Some of them will actually help you, but there are some that are bozos. But do not let people mislead you into thinking that you are a bad child, because you are not. You're just having a hard time, and that shit will get worked out, I promise you. But anyway, what time is it? Oh shit, it's 8:30. We breezing right through. Yo, man, we're going to take a short break, and then when we get back, we're going to talk about the last two things. I'm going to talk about a comedic brother that I always thought was hilarious, and I actually have been wondering, you're like, yo, where is this dude at right now? What's he doing with his life? And then he popped up on a video today kind of explaining why he is no longer present in the acting and comedy game. So when we get back, we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to close out with the realest tweet that I saw this week that comes from one of Seattle's, I think he was a fan favorite. I think a lot of people like Golden Tate, but Golden Tate is in the Twitter news because of something, and I thought it was funny. It's not football related. It's Run That Fade related. So when we get back, we're going to talk about that, but we're going to jump into this music. We're going to slow it down a little bit, give you all a classic record, and then when we get back, we're going to talk about these last two things, and then we're going to close out. So thank you for tuning in to the Meaningful Jackson Show. I am your host, Meaningful Jackson, and we are lit. You know what? It's crazy about today. I think today has been a little bit scattered. I think Tuesday was really good. I think today is just a little bit rocky. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's the end of the week. I'm a little bit tired. Haven't really been sleeping well this week, but that's typical. I normally don't sleep well. I don't know. But I appreciate it. If you're still rocking with me and you've watched this entire recording, I think we're about an hour and a half through. Yeah, the recording says 1:33, so an hour and 33 minutes, man. I've just been in here yapping. But that's what it is every week, man. And that's why I love this shit. People just gotta listen to it. If you like it, you like it. If not, you don't. You can turn my shit off. I don't care. Because even if you only watch 5 minutes, you still watch this shit. Hey. But yeah, we're running some, right now they're listening to some old school JT, Until the End of Time. And then after that, they'll get some Trey Songz, Sex for Your Stereo. I told them I was going to try to get it lit tonight. As we close out the show, that's probably what I'll start doing, is every night when we close out, we'll start to play some R&B music. to kind of get people settled down, and then, you know, people who are about to go to sleep, get them in a calm mood, or people who are about to, you know, get them draws, you know, get them hyped up, get some motivation, you know, get a little bit wet, get a little bit hard. We're gonna try to do all that. We nasty. That's why I say don't have your kids watching this shit, because you never know what I'm about to say. It's usually something stupid. That's all I can guarantee. But yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in. We will be back next week. Like I said, we're on every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Track Talk Radio. Go to tracktalkradio.com. Listen to the actual station, man. Don't just try to tune in just for my stuff. I'm only on twice a week, and it's only for a couple hours in the evening time. But the station is on all day with great local hip hop, all kinds of music. I think there are options to sign up for certain things so you can get special privileges and VIP access to new content. I say it's VIP because I think anything that is exclusive is VIP. But there's all kinds of stuff you can do on there, man. It's a cool thing. So, yeah, be sure to support everybody that's on there. Excuse me. If you know somebody who's trying to make a come up and they're an aspiring artist, poet, rapper, or want to have a talk show, there are people that you can reach out to. You need to reach out to Sherry. Sherry's got the plug, Miss Tack Talk. But follow me and you can follow her. And Sherry has all kinds of good deals, all kinds of stuff. So she's real cool. I think she watches these. We're giving Boss Lady a shout out. But yeah, letting the music run. I didn't even take a bathroom break, man. And now my phone is blowing up. People are texting. Let's see what the text is about. Yo, I asked one of my homies if he want to hoop tomorrow. This nigga text back something I was not expecting. Buddy said, I gotta get a root canal tomorrow. Nigga, what? Damn. That's wild. Man, you know what? Bump you in your root canal. Yo, y'all check this new iPhone update. I don't know if I like this shit, man. I feel like when I'm just trying to move quick and then just try to text and send fast, it's like wants to do all this other shit. Why do I gotta make it be all fancy? Just let it do what it's fucking supposed to do. Okay. Me and my brother talking about LeBron. Watching the Lakers the other night. I'll say Braun does look a little bit old because he is older. I mean, you gotta think he's on the court with a bunch of young guys. So like, there are gonna be moments when you're on the court where you look your age. He's still a hooper. He still can score. He can still play. But I think the days of LeBron James being the best player on this planet are probably over. I think if it's anybody, I like Kawhi as an option for his replacement. There's a lot of good young and up and coming players. I think the only reason it's not automatically KD is because he's hurt again. But I think if KD can come back and even be 75% of what he once was, then he would ultimately be the best skilled player in our league. But Kawhi would then become the best all around because Kawhi plays crazy tough defense on just about everybody. But Clippers and Golden State are on right now. It's the almost halftime, but Golden State, they're hanging in there. But their team, this is going to be the first season where we actually get to see if Steph can carry the team. And then we'll see if those 2 MVPs were actually warranted. Who knows? But hope they have a good season as well. And maybe if Clay can come back this year, they might be all right. But Kawhi is cooking them right now. This shit, it doesn't even look fair. It looks too easy. It looks like how I look at LA Fitness on Sundays when I play against my guys. I bust them up like they ain't shit. Oh man, it's already 8:40. All right. Sorry, we had some dead air. I'm trying to return all these messages. People are hitting me up. But let's see. We are about to jump back in. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Well, I'll just wait. The song's about to close out. Let them listen to that song. We got Trey Songz, Sex for Your Stereo. I don't know if you heard that's off that old, what's that, Trey Day album? Is that what that song? Yeah, that's an old cut. That shit's still fire. Shit, Trey do got some cuts, man. I am a big Trey Songz fan. I think his music is really good because he gives you a little bit of everything. There's always some upbeat songs, always some good songs for the ladies, always some good love songs, good songs for niggas to sing to the ladies. And then, my man has bars too. So when he does, get on his rap game, Trey's pretty nice on the microphone. So shout out to Trigger Trey Songz. We got a lot of good artists that come out of the, Virginia area. So shout out to them, man. It's crazy, but we about to jump back into this. Oh man, look, I figured that as we get ready to close the show out, we'll try to have some music that will just help y'all get in the mood. So if you about to, get some panties or something, you about to get you some thing or something, you have a song that can get you in that right mode. So that's why I had the Trigger Trey playing. But anyway, we are back. Thank you for joining me. The show is almost over, which I'm a little bit happy about because I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm dead tired. I don't know what it is. I'm running low on energy. But I have really loved being here tonight. We had good shows this week. I think this one's been a success. Tuesdays was a success as well. I'm glad that we got some good feedback from people. I had some really good conversations throughout the week based on some of the stuff that I talked about. People were definitely laughing at the Mike Tyson thing, which I don't know why y'all were laughing at me. You want me to get beat up. I think that's what it is. People were like, oh yeah, I would love to see you fight Mike Tyson and get your ass knocked out. I know that's what they were thinking. I don't blame you. I probably deserve a punch to the head, or maybe two, for the way I be acting. I know there's a lot of people who really love me but would still agree with that. I probably have been needing an ass whooping for about the last 10 years now. And Mike Tyson is probably the only one who can give it to me. But that's not an invitation for niggas to try to roll up on me while I'm walking down the street or something. Please don't try to fight me. I'm too tired for all that. We can go get some ice cream or something, get some snacks. I'm all about eating snacks. So if y'all want to go hoop, do whatever. But I'm not really trying to fight folks. I'm too tired for all that. I'm dead fucking tired. Leave me alone. But anyway, before we went to break, I was telling y'all about this young brother who used to do a lot of comedy. I think this person is hella funny. He's been in some classic movies. And I don't know who they're classic to. They're classic to me, and then classic to the black community. But what was this young brother's name is Brandon T. Jackson. And some of y'all might remember him from the movie. He was in Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr. And, I think Tom Cruise is in that movie. There's a bunch of people in that movie. Matthew McConaughey, all kinds of people. He's done some movies on some big scales, but he was also in, Lotto Ticket with Bow Wow. He's in that movie. Brandon's been in a lot of movies, but I always wonder why he never really made it like big, because he is pretty funny. And then today he popped up on a video, which I thought was very interesting. And he says that he feels like wearing a dress in Big Mama's House 3 is what ruined his career. He does go on to say that he doesn't think that people or men just wearing dresses is a bad thing. I want to make that clear because most people would immediately go to, oh, he trying to throw shade at Tyler Perry. No, he actually says that he appreciates what Tyler Perry was able to create something and build momentum and maintain momentum and turn that into what he now has, which is his own fucking studio, which is crazy. No black people really have that. I mean, probably Oprah, But now Tyler Perry is at that level. But Brandon was saying that he thinks by putting that dress on for Big Mama's House 3, which I don't know if y'all saw the first two with Martin Lawrence, but they're classic movies, but they're classic for, in my opinion, they're classic only for the black community. I don't think people really still fuck with Big Mama's House. I think all of our great comedians have movies like that. I mean, white comedians, black comedians, whoever's been hot, they all have a series or a franchise worth of movies that is not good at all, only to some people. Big Mama's House, the first one was kind of funny, but I think the second one was kind of lame. And then by the time they got to the third one, this is where Brandon comes in, and this is his demise. And this is how he genuinely feels, because this is stuff that he said on an interview. He feels like the reason why his career is over is because he put that dress on. He goes on to say, I mean, you haven't seen me since then. And that hit me a little bit, because I was like, damn, this nigga's right. I ain't seen him since he put on that dress. And I only saw the dress on the preview, and I turned that shit off, because I was wondering why my man was doing a movie like that. Now I know they were thinking that they needed a Big Mama's House 3, but I feel like Martin and whoever was a part of that, they all should have known better, that y'all should have never made the second one. So I don't know why y'all made the third one. I don't know. It wasn't good. But it's interesting, because when you look at Brandon T. Jackson now, if you remember him from back in the day, he looked really skinny. I don't remember him ever really having like facial hair or nothing. But now he just looks like a low budget West Coast rapper. It's crazy. I wish I could show this to y'all on the film, but I want y'all to, if you have a minute, go Google. I don't know where he's doing this interview at. Let's see. Where's the interview? I don't know. It doesn't say it on the ad, but go look at the Shade Room's IG, and you'll see the little video. It has Brandon T. Jackson. You can see what he looks like. He definitely looks like an old 90s West Coast rapper, with the one gold chain, with the all black shirt. I mean, maybe he should start just rapping. Reinvent yourself, dog. Do what Diddy's doing. Just come up with a new fucking name, and then just pop up on niggas with like a rap album. And people will be like, yo, who's that? You're like, yo, you remember that nigga from Tropic Thunder? That's him spitting bars. I mean, shit. If Lil Duval can get a hit and be on Billboard Top 100 or whatever, I feel like anybody can do it at this point, and he's not even a rapper. So, Brandon, if you listen, maybe try the rap thing out, dog. Or if you can sing, maybe do that. Or shit, get you some, get some weight and become a producer. Start making movies. Get back in the game, bro. You're hella talented. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to see you out here thriving. So don't let that dress deter you. It's one time, my nigga. It's just one movie. Eddie Murphy's still getting money, and he was a clump, and I don't think people really view that as Eddie's biggest moment. I mean, Martin Lawrence is still getting movie money. I mean, and he set you up for that Big Mama's House failure. So I hope he got you a part in that new Bad Boys or something. They got to give you a come up, man. Somebody owe you for that shit. So I wish you the best of luck, my brother. Hope you come back strong. All right, let's see. What else we got? We're going to get into this last thing, and I'm going to close out with the music. But I'm going to dive into what I thought was the realest tweet of the week. This comes from the NFL, but it's not football related. We got Mr. Jalen Ramsey. He's been in the news because he left Jacksonville, didn't want to play for them anymore because they're a bunch of bums. It was less about the team and more about his relationship with Tom Coughlin, which if anybody knows him, they know that Tom Coughlin is a dusty-ass old man who believes in doing things one way, and that's why he's only had very, minimal success, in my opinion. Is because he does not like to adapt and, groove with the team that he has. He wants the team to do things his way, and if you don't, then he just gets rid of you. But Jalen wanted to get rid of him, so he was able to force his way out of Jacksonville, and now he is an LA Ram. But this summer, and he recently, while he was on his little holdout thing, he did have a baby. And apparently he had a baby with Golden Tate's sister. So the weird thing about this is I guess that they were rumored as splitting up during the summer. And the only reason I'm even bringing up some gossip shit is because I thought the tweet was funny. It's not because I'm about to start announcing bullshit gossip from Hollywood and all that. I don't give a fuck about none of that. But I thought it was funny that Golden Tate said the following. So basically, there was rumors that Jalen had left his sister because he had met somebody else. But I think people think it's not. I want to say this. I'm not being dismissive. I'm not saying that it's not a big deal. But to some people, it is a very big deal that you would break up or leave somebody while they're pregnant. Now I don't know any of the details of their situation, so you can't really say, oh, he's a shitty man and da 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 da, because we don't know the situation. I'm not there for his relationship with that woman, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. It does seem a little bit weird that during a time like that is when you would pick to leave, but if your feelings lead you to somebody else, you got to do what you got to do. People should understand that. But Golden Tate, being a good big brother, someone asked him about it, and he said the following, the simplest of a tweet. He said, he'll have to see me. Now, most people know if someone ever says that you got to see them, that means that when they see you, it's going to be time to probably run that fade or have a conversation at minimum. And the conversation will be heated. Someone in the conversation probably will end up getting punched. Or at least hands will be put on something. Even if it's just a slight push, there will be some type of confrontation that could turn physical. But I thought that was funny because the way it was confirmed that he had met this girl as Jalen, and I wonder if he's doing this because he wanted to be petty. Of course, he got on IG because this is what young people do nowadays. The way you break news is something is you get on IG and you post a picture. So he posted a picture of him and his new boo. And that's when somebody asked Golden about it, and then he said what he said. So I'm interested to see how this plays out throughout the course of the season. Their teams do not play each other at all. I think Golden is playing for the Giants, maybe. Yeah, I think he's playing for the New York Giants, and obviously Jalen's now with the Rams. They don't play each other, so I can't imagine there would be some in-season type of squabble. But the off-season, this could get funny. I don't know Golden personally, so I don't know if he's actually like a man of his word, if he's actually going to confront this nigga when he sees him. But I just thought that shit was pretty funny because it feels like Jalen's been in the news for so many things over the last month and a half, just all football related. And then today I see him pop up, and it's because he just did some petty shit by posting up with his new boo on IG. And now some other nigga wants to run his fade. So, Jalen Ramsey, my man, best of luck to you. Congrats on your newborn child. Adding a new life. That's a beautiful thing. That's a blessing. But I don't know, man. You might end up getting your ass whooped. So be careful out there, my friend. But anyway, thank you for tuning in tonight. You just spent the last couple hours listening to this, or you only spent 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. But either way, I appreciate you if you tuned in. If you reached out to me tonight on my phone or in my messages, hey, I fuck with y'all. I love y'all. I'll be back on Tuesday, man. So we're going to check in then. We're going to do, what I'm going to start doing is every Tuesday, I'll do all the shout outs from the previous week. That way I can give people the opportunity to reach out. We have had some people who I've told they would get a shout out, but I'm not doing them tonight. I will do them Tuesday. Every week I'm going to try to bring improvements to the show. And so starting next week, we will actually do some shout outs. So what I will want you to do is shoot me a DM either on Instagram or on Facebook. Make sure that you list the preferred name that you would like to be called on the air. Because I know not everybody wants their actual name or even their handle or whatever it is. Some people want to be referred to as specific things, and I'm totally fine with that. So make sure when you send a message, you just put that on there. Leave some good feedback or something. That way we can kind of, we can give you a real shout out. I don't want to just say, you know how they do at award shows, like shout out to Janice, Janet, Tiffany, Alex, Mike, Dave. I'm not going to do that. That's going to be fucking lame. I don't know why I said all those names. Fuck all those people. I don't know who any of them are. But make sure you put your name on there. Leave some good feedback. Even if you have some hate for the show, I'll shout you out too if you've been a hater. And I'll probably do that without your permission, just to clown you or something. So, but thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. We're going to get into this music. We got some Bad Meets Evil. If any of you know who that is, that's Eminem and Royce da 5'9", two of the greatest rappers of all time. M is for sure one of the greatest, if not the greatest. Again, this is one of these things. It's going to be the same thing with Kobe Bryant. Don't try to argue with me because I'll listen to you, but I do not care. There's nothing that you can say to me that would ever change my mind because I just firmly believe that M is the greatest of all time. That's it. And I hope I'm seeing that right. Did that just say Golden State versus LA Clippers went final with the lowest score in the history of fucking basketball? Did Golden State only have 54 points? Did I read that right? Jesus Christ, hold up. There ain't no way that's right. Man, let me get to the bottom of this. Y'all go listen to this music and I'm going to see y'all on Tuesday. Oh, it's just halftime. They had on the thing that said final. Oh my God, I'm scared the hell out of me. Anyway, we're going to get into this music, man, and I'm going to see y'all on Tuesday. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you know somebody who wanted to listen to the show but they missed it, tell them to go to the YouTube channel because this video will be uploaded tomorrow morning. But y'all have a good weekend, man. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. I'm out. And just like that, my dusty friends, our show is done. So I'm going to get out from behind this, turn this damn camera off, and then I'm out. I hope y'all have a good weekend. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all sending your feedback. Follow me on social media. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Everything is under my name, Meme Cool Jackson. It's very simple. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Track Talk Radio, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's it. I'm out.